And then we go into the speed run, which I don't know if you've heard about this, but you inspired me to do this.
Cool.
I'll mention this because it's a lot like, what do they call it? Your fast fire thing? It's called Copper Lines.
Copper Lines Quickfire Queues.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
sweet.
That inspired me to do this, so I'm going to mention that tonight.
I like the name. It's a good name.
Yeah, the speed run. Because, everybody likes to speed run through strikes and stuff, so.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
There have been podcasts where I've been like, yeah, I'll be on your show, and then like they go, all right, are you ready for the next 3 hours of your life? And it's like, what? Are you what?
Yeah, about that. We have fairly
awkward pause.
Yeah, very awkward. Well, I will tell you this, Dan. And can I call you Dan? Is that the best way to? Is that what you prefer to be called?
Call me Your Majesty.
Your Majesty, okay. Your Majesty, we...
Guardian down.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 19 of Guardian Downcast. We're a couple of dads that talk about all things in the Destiny universe, and we discuss other things in gaming and entertainment as well. I'm your host, the Gatr, and my co-host Hazel is here as well. How you doing, man? How's your week been?
Not too bad. I've been fighting a stomach virus, so it's been lovely.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, luckily I'm not in the bathroom doing this thing, so yeah, there we go.
Well, hang in there, man. We'll soldier through. Yeah, it's been a little brutal, man. I think it was a high 62 again here this weekend. I think I had to put a light jacket on again. Fingers crossed. Man. Fingers crossed, man. I think it's 50, gonna be like 47 tonight. It's gonna be really nippy. Coldest so far.
You better turn the heat on, man.
I'm thinking about it. My wife won't let me do it though, but we'll see. Well, good, man. I hope you hang in there tonight. If
you're number one, man. You're number one.
if you need to do a barf run, let me know and I'll stop. I'm really excited tonight to introduce our guest of the show. He's the host of Sidequest Sunday and Destiny Digest podcast, a popular Twitch streamer, and I think the nicest guy on the internet, Mr. Danfinity. Hey, Dan, how you doing tonight, man?
Oh, hey, I'm doing well. Thank you for all those accolades. Only 3 of those are true.
Okay, we'll let the listeners figure out which.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, good deal. Good deal. Let's talk about what we're going to do tonight. We're going to talk obviously about Mr. Danfinity's story. We're going to find out what he's all about, and then we're going to test his Twitch reflexes with our fast fire session we call the speed run. We'll also catch up on the week in entertainment and gaming with the 3 of us. Then finally, we'll answer Twitter and Discord questions from our community and add 2 songs each from everyone here for our Guardian Downcast playlist on Spotify. So hey guys, let's get going. Okay, guys, I'm really excited about tonight. I guess you could say I've idolized this guy for a while. I've been watching his podcast for years, and I really want to know your story, Dan. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you live, generally, obviously. What do you do for a living? Where you from? That kind of stuff.
Okay. I am a 33-year-old male from the Midwest.
Okay.
I stand about 6 foot.
Nice.
I have brown eyes and brown hair. I recently trimmed my beard. Which some people will find highly controversial because it's a combination of not only the lemmy, but also, just pubic hair. And so I'm a streamer on Twitch. I stream 4 days a week. I produce a podcast called Destiny Digest just about every day of the week. Okay, so it's myself, Arrowcast, Green Eyed Music Lover, and Sin Media. We're all producing for that show. I'm a member of the Planet Destiny podcast, where I co-host there. I do Sidequest Sunday in different seasons, and I used to be in bands and stuff, and so I'm an all-around creator. Some would say a Renaissance man in that I am not really great at any of it, but I'm passable. at most.
I disagree strongly.
All right. You're allowed to have that agreement.
Okay.
that opinion.
That's funny. Yeah. Well, Dan, I just want to say, I mean, like he said that, how he like idolizes you. I kind of do the same thing because I actually, the first time I heard about you was, well, obviously on Dad Tales and that kind of thing, but actually when you were helping Drafty's son, Steve, no, exactly. Do that raid for the first time, and I mean it was just the most heartwarming thing, and like utterly and completely frustrating, I'm sure, to a degree as well.
No, it was fine.
But yeah,
it was
I mean,
6 hours of my life well spent.
Yeah. But I mean, it was just, I remember you taking the next couple days off too. And
you broke him. You broke him.
Yeah.
No, not at all. I mean, it was just like the most heartwarming thing. And I mean, just not even Drafty didn't put me up to this or anything, but I just want to say on behalf of everybody, we thank you for that.
Yes.
Hey, I mean, look, the community is so giving of their time and energy, and there's a lot of really good people in the Destiny community and the gaming community. When you're able to do something to give back a little bit in that way, like that's to me, that is a dedication of time that's worthwhile. I keep breaking things down into like how many hours something takes, because that's like how I kind of have to live my life right now until I decide how many of these plates I'm going to take down and stack over for a while and not have to deal with them. But it's time and commitment in giving to somebody else's experience, I think, is one of the best things that you can give to somebody. So if I can do that and help them have fun or better their life, then I will try to do that.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's great.
Nice.
Well, hey, I'm curious. What's your gaming history? How'd you get into gaming? Go back to the little Dan.
Man.
Tell us where it all began.
So my brother-in-law had an Atari 2600. It looked like a wood panel basement, and he gave it to us because we were going over to his house and we were playing PlayStation all the time. And so it was, my parents wouldn't get us a Super Nintendo or a Nintendo 64. So he's like, you know what? I've had this for years. You guys can have it. And it had all sorts of games. One of them was like Battle Tanks, I think was the name of it, where it was basically like Pac-Man, but there was no like ghosts. There was no pellets to pick up. You were just two tanks and you were firing projectiles at one another down these corridors. And the bullets bounced 3 times and then exploded.
Sir, that would be combat.
That combat. Never mind. Sorry. I apologize. It's been years.
Well, since in all honesty, I've got probably quite a few years on you, so I have a little bit of an advantage here. So I'm sorry. Go on.
But yeah, so me and my brother would just play that all the time, and then we got like, instead of one Christmas, the Christmas of the N64, we didn't get the N64, but we got a box about that size, and my brother and I got really excited about it. And we were like hyping each other up. We're like, the night before, we're like, that's an N64. Our parents just bought us love. That's an N64. And we open it, and it is the Donkey Kong Country bundle of the Super Nintendo.
Oh.
Which we didn't want, but you know what? Like, I feel like they made the best choice, because there were so many games out at that point for that system.
Yeah.
It was easy to get for us for birthdays or Christmas or whatever for years and years to come after that. And so we played that. Turtles in Time was a big one.
Mm-hmm.
There was a big cartridge in our lives. Then my brother-in-law, like I said, I discovered JRPGs.
Okay.
When I was probably about 12 with Legend of Dragoon.
I remember
Final Fantasy VIII.
I remember those games.
Legend of Dragoon is one of my favorite games of all time.
That was
it
great.
Is if you revisit it, it is troubling.
Yeah.
in a lot of ways when it comes to gender relations. But the limit break system in that game is really fun for a JRPG. Then there was so ended up getting like PS2, like yada yada yada, all the way down to like I was a poor musician who had a roommate named Curtis who had a PlayStation 3, and Bungie just put out Destiny.
Oh.
And like 2 weeks after it came out, I work in libraries historically, and the library that I was working at the time actually loaned out video games. You could keep them for a week, and then you had to bring them back. Well, so I checked out Destiny 2 weeks after it launched, and just became hooked. Yeah. And like I brought it back after that first week with like trembling hands, and then and then it was gone for a week, and then it came back in, and I was like, I got it. And I hoarded it to myself, and I checked it out and played it again for another week. And I was like, at this point, I should just get it. I don't have a console or anything, but Kurt was kind enough to like let me use it to play Destiny.
Very cool.
And yeah, so that's my overall history of video games condensed into.
That was very well done, sir.
Nice.
Thank you.
That was awesome. So, what is a favorite memory about Destiny that you have? 1 or 2 or whatever?
I mean, it's hard to beat the Steve raid. It is hard to beat the Steve raid. The first, I used to have, I didn't use LFGs or anything, because the few times that I tried to do that, like people were a little like, some people were like, "You're hoarding nothing," and so I would go. In the tower, I would contact people, and because I listened to Guardian Radio, I knew that Dads of Destiny were kind of a cool thing. And so my first experience joining a clan was through the Dads of Destiny. I'm not a dad. I was just a traveling musician, which is kind of like being a dad, but without any of the cool like tax perks. And so it's between like getting Steve through that raid, because that was like awesome. That was a lot of fun to do. And like actually like finding a group of people that were like-minded in their quest to be better at a game.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Well, let me ask you this. Where did the gamer tag, how did you acquire this gamer tag? Is there a source or reason you came about this name? Because I love the name.
Ooh.
Originally I thought it would be funny to imagine how many of me there could be in a room.
Okay.
Or just like originally I just thought the name was cool, right? Like I think at the end of the day, that's what it all comes down to. What is my handle going to be? And I didn't want numbers in it, because you see all those kids in the Crucible with the numbers, and they're teabagging you. And you're just like, damn you, Carson 6901. And it like I didn't really have an eye for content to go into content creation at the time, but like a couple months later I joined Destiny Tracker, so it was actually kind of a smart decision. So that's how my gamer tag came to be. It sounded cool, and it didn't have numbers in it, and
now it's a brand.
There's a girl in Mexico who has my Twitter handle.
Oh, that's why you went with the 1. I get it now.
She has blocked me. It's not 1. It's L's.
Oh, that's right. That's
lowercase
right.
L.
That's right.
Because she has blocked me. I offered to pay for the name rights, and she blocked me because she probably saw like, hey, pay, and then was like, nope, not dealing with this guy. He's like clearly in his 30s.
Oh boy. He's a prince of wherever.
He's a prince. Yeah, he's a prince of Indianapolis. You got to be very careful of this.
He wants his gamer tag back.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's enough of the softball questions. Now we get to know you, the man, the myth, the Danfinity. Yeah. So, what gave you the idea to start the Destiny Digest?
It started like a week before I went to San Diego this year. Jenny and I had to go to a wedding, and this summer I kind of got in my head about numbers and stuff, and like was looking for things to do that maybe wasn't streaming. And I was like, oh, podcasts. I know how to do those. Yeah. And I know there are people out there like Mesa Sean, you have your your Aztec Crosses, your
Mhm.
Fallout Plays. You have like My Name is Bife. You have all these guys out there that are making content almost every day, right?
Yeah.
For this game and like for news and just being like a little news outlet type deal. And I thought, well, I mean, that would be kind of fun to do like daily, but it would have to be like a short period of time. I'm shit with video editing right now, so how could I enter that sphere? And then I was like, oh, like I could do a under 10-minute podcast where we talk about the news of the day and the helpful stuff that maybe people didn't catch. And so I put out an episode before I left for San Diego for that week for that wedding, and people received it really well. Like I think I put out 3 just as like a test to like what my workflow would be for it. And then in that time period, Aerocast reached out to me. He's like, hey, I was thinking about doing the exact same thing. Would you want to work together on it? I was like, yeah, sure. That sounds great. And then Green was like, hey, if you ever need any like lore stuff for this thing, this sounds like a neat idea. And I was like, the team is coming together.
Yes,
and then yeah, like not so long ago, like we needed to add an extra person, so Sin came in to cover our TWAB Thursdays, and he's been doing a great job with that as well.
That buttery voice of his.
That buttery voice. And yeah, so it was really just to like, podcasts weren't really doing it. I like short form podcasts a lot. I think that comes from like listening to like Professor Broman a long time ago.
Yeah, I like that stuff.
Yeah, because he'd do like short little 5-minute like, hey guys, this is me. I'm here and doing this thing, and this is what you should know about me. And so that was pretty cool. And just I liked the 7-minute format. I wanted to like make it kind of sound like NPR a little bit too, like those little news bumpers that go in between the shows. And so yeah, all the way around, it was just really well done. Or like everybody who came together to make it has been a blast to work with. So
yeah,
that's great.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. What is one of the biggest challenges you face? And I give you props for being a streamer on Twitch, but what's one of the biggest challenges you face as a streamer?
Oh man.
Not to get too down in the weeds, but I know it can get toxic, but I'm just saying, what is something you worry about before you pop on the live button every day?
I think I'm gonna pick 3. I'm gonna break your rules.
Absolutely go for
it. Longevity.
Okay.
Longevity of a platform that's like this, oversaturation of streaming platforms, because as technology gets easier and easier to do, it becomes easier and easier to stream.
Yeah.
And then the population watching is like gets spread out.
Yeah. And
then sometimes they themselves, and kudos for doing it, they themselves become streamers, and then like are like, oh, I have my people watching me, and it's great. It's a really fun feeling.
Yeah.
So there's those 2. Monetization is weird too. Especially with like some of the changes to Twitch, which is the platform that I'm on. Right. Where you're able to get rid of pre-roll ads, which is a kudos. I like that. But you have to run like ads once an hour, like 3 minutes of ads once an hour to get that next hour off from pre-roll.
Right.
And you can't front load that at all. It has to be like 3 minutes in between.
It's got to be spread out. Wow. Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah. And so like I've been trying to keep it like to, okay, at the top of stream, we're going to knock that out. That way there's no pre-roll, right? And for the next hour. And then I try to keep an even eye on it. Not always, but I then explain, hey guys, I have to do this or else you're going to get ads when you come into the room. And I'd rather you not. So if you're subbed, you're not going to see the ads. If you aren't subbed, you are going to see the ads, but know that you are supporting the channel all the same.
Right.
And yeah, so that's kind of weird because I got into it to stream video games and make community and have friends and not in it for the ad game.
That's what happens when you make a hobby a business. It's really it's a fine line, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a very fine line and one that you have to kind of like reckon with a little bit. Lately I've been taking more days off for my own spiritual and physical well-being.
I totally understand.
Yeah, like a couple weeks ago, I went and saw Wilco with a buddy of mine who covers bands for the local paper, and I was his plus one, so I got to see an awesome show.
Oh wow!
On a Tuesday night, which is usually like a staple night for me. And then last week I streamed a little bit earlier on Thursday so I could go to a show where my buddies Mike Adams and Oreo Jones were playing in town. And yeah, you have to make sure that you're happy doing it. And if you're not happy doing it, you're going to put out bad stuff.
And it kind of shows, doesn't it, if you're not happy doing it?
Oh, it definitely shows.
That's the one thing I really respect streamers, and I tried it. I tried it on YouTube, just streaming gameplay, playing Destiny, and my God, Dan, you have to be on guard all the time. There's no time where you can just say, I'm just going to mail this in, or I'm not feeling too hot right now. I lots of kudos, man. I mean, I don't know how you guys do it sometimes. It's a lot of work.
I mean, I don't do it as much as somebody as other folks,
Sure,
but like I mean, it's tough. I had, like I said, this past summer I had to hide numbers for myself because like I just became too much in my head about it. And lately it's been more about like making sure I haven't been tracking numbers, and that's been fine for me, but I've also been trying to be more vocal while I'm playing.
Sure.
Because I know one of my performance things is that like I can go long swaths without saying anything, and that's not good for chatting. That's not good for a stream. So you have to kind of plan your stream around like, well, what am I going to do today? Does the thing that I'm going to do today involve interacting with people, or is it a solo grind thing? And do I have to do it on stream, or can I work out some time later on today where maybe I can hop on? And these are all considerations that you need to make.
Sure. Yeah.
In order to have like a compelling or
well, it's like any job.
Active piece of content. Yeah.
So changing it up a little bit here. You're big into music. You were in a band or a couple bands? I've
been in bands. Multiple bands.
We might have a question. We might have a question for you later about that.
All right. Yeah, I started playing like at Starbucks, of all places, like a Starbucks that didn't have an open mic night. I would just bring my guitar, and I'm sure I was the bane of everybody's existence that went in there. And then I'm like, through that I met like some like a drummer, and like he knew a guy who was a bassist, so we got together and like started bands and stuff. And then I made friends up in Muncie, Indiana, and they started a band and wanted me in it, so I was like, yes. Then they moved to Chicago, and I still was writing stuff down in Muncie, so I was like, I need a band. I need another band. And that lasted for 10 years of my life.
Wow.
And right now I'm maybe not blissfully, I'm ungrouped right now in a musical sense. But yeah, I've spent some time in the band game.
Nice. So you're solo right now.
Currently, I hate that term. I'm writing right now. I don't have an act that I take out. I'm just writing stuff right now, and the stuff that I'm writing now, I'm really proud of. And I don't think it would fly in the other stuff that I was working on.
That's awesome. Do we know when we may hear some of that?
No, I have no idea.
Work in progress, Hazel. Work in progress.
Okay, it's all just like finding little pieces of ether here and there, and eventually I'll have something. I'm hoping in the next year, maybe something, but it depends on what else my year has for me.
Of course, always.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, what's the last song that you listened to today?
Today, actually, before we hopped into call, so you guys had said that there would be an exercise where I needed to pick 2 songs for a Spotify playlist, and so I was listening through to stuff, and one of the ones that like after I posted that second song, I was like, should I pick this one instead? It was Mike Adams at his honest weight. The song is called "Do You Want Better," and it's from his latest album that he released with Joyful Noise, which was a label that I used to send records out for, and it actually made it on the Billboard chart, which is kind of nutty but understandable in this day and age of music. And so I listened to that song.
Nice.
Before jumping into the call.
Well, we were talking about your podcast. Let me ask you this: when is the next season of Sidequest Sunday? That was my favorite podcast. Can we get an exclusive tonight? Maybe.
I am working on that. I am
Okay.
working. I am weighing what the next season of Sidequest Sunday would mean with my schedule. As
Okay.
it stands right now, I was busting my ass every week to have a guest. And the first season, it was like busting your ass to have a guest every week. And I preloaded everything. So I had some interviews on that podcast that were months old before they came out.
Wow.
And that meant that the information might not be so timely. And so
I get you.
yeah, and so like last season it was an exercise in, okay, let's fly by the seat of the pants. Let's see if I can get a guest every week. And so some of the shows had guests and some of them didn't. That generally meant that I didn't have that a guest fell through.
I remember you
Or I didn't have time.
soloed one.
Yeah.
And I was like, good on him, man. I tried I tried soloing one and it was rough, man. It was rough.
It's yeah, because you're eating time. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
and you have to make sure that it's good, and sometimes those aren't good depending on what you plan for them. And so that was last season's exercise, was trying to get a guest for every single one.
Mhm.
And I think and trying to do that on a weekly basis. Right now where I'm sitting with it, I think we'll still see like a March time period,
Okay.
but it's going to be way different. I don't think it's going to be weekly. I think it's there's a comedian that I really like. His name's Dana Gould. I think I'm going to take a page out of his book.
Really? I know him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a show called the Dana Gould Hour. It's usually 3 hours. and he
We would know
he
about
usually
that.
has he has 2 interviews in there about completely different subject matter.
Oh wow.
And then he interweaves them together in an interesting way, and he ties them together with a story in the middle, or like different segments that he puts together. And while I think that is a format that I can sustain, like maybe do a couple interviews and then work them in together somehow in an interesting way. And they wouldn't necessarily be content creators all the time. I feel like that's trying to limit it specifically just to content creators. It can narrow the view a little bit.
Mhm.
But I have a ton of other friends who are really talented and are interesting. So I feel like that is a viable way to do it and be able to continue it for a little bit longer and then end that season and see where I am. That's been a good show to do in season.
Yeah.
Because you don't need a constant interview all the time.
Yeah, I like how you do it. It's definitely a season, and it's not all year. It's a good portion of the year, but it's not a full year.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes the pressure off you. I understand that. I feel I have to clarify something for my good old friend Warcry. Warcry, Dana Gould is not the one that's on Ray Donovan. It's not the older guy. It's a younger comedian.
No.
It's a younger comedian guy. Just had to clarify that for Warcry. He's one of my old buddies. He's as old as dirt, like I am. So,
Oh man, I love Dana Gould. That dude's hilarious.
he is. I've heard him on. I've heard him on Adam Carolla. Adam Carolla's show. I listen to a lot of Adam Carolla, and he's been on there several times. And
Yeah.
man, he is hilarious. He's hilarious.
Yeah. I dig him because he talks to like interesting people. He spoke to the last episode that he did was around Halloween, and he spoke to the writers of the movie Ed Wood.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And they actually wrote like the People versus O.J. Simpson as well, like in recent memory, and they wrote Dolomite Is My Name, which is one of my favorite movies of this year.
Really, you like that?
I love that movie.
I gotta
That
see
movie's
it.
so good. And it is, if you've seen Ed Wood,
Uh-huh.
it is Ed Wood.
Really? Oh,
it is-
okay.
It's really good. I liked it a lot. I was like, I see why their interest would focus in on this character, on this person, and it's remarkably similar in a lot of ways.
Well, that's good to know because it's in my queue, but every time I want to click on it, I'm like, Ray Donovan.
Dude, do it.
All right, I'll do it.
Dude, like Eddie Murphy is
Oh,
10 for 10 in that movie.
Absolutely. I heard him on Getting Coffee with Comedians in Cars. I never can get that title right, but I was bragging how I could not believe Eddie Murphy was on the show. I haven't seen him forever. He's just disappeared.
Well, he was stuck in that like
Yeah, I remember those.
kid comedy hell for a while.
I remember those years. I was really worried about him. I really was.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Adventures of Pluto Nash.
Yes.
Yeah. But here's the thing: he's still fucking funny.
He is. He
Don't
is.
worry about it.
And I think he has some stand up coming out soon.
Yeah. He's gonna be hosting an SNL next month too.
Oh,
so.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Oh, such good content coming out this winter.
Yeah, man.
All right, Hazel.
Question here: what does 2020 hold for Mr. Danfinity?
A lot of soul searching. Just, I think, yeah.
Cool. Okay.
No, yeah. No, I'm trying to be more thoughtful about what I make. And so next year will hopefully bear the fruit of that. I'm going to be putting out more podcast content. I'm trying to make sure that the workflows for that aren't backbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure that I'm making good stuff on Twitch. I've thought about doing like maybe once every couple weeks like a YouTube video as well, but I need to figure that out. And just a lot that's still in the iron. A lot of iron still in the fire.
Got you. We understand.
Yeah. By the way, your podcast idea or your idea for season 3 of Sidequest Sunday kind of sounds like Justin's show that he.
Oh yeah, what do you like?
Yeah.
What do you like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? Yeah.
Yeah, what's your favorite? That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I like that.
But it wouldn't, and it's 5-minute RPG could still be in there. It wouldn't be like, it wouldn't necessarily need to be the person that was the guest that week either.
Right.
I could just pick somebody arbitrarily.
Yeah, you can just pre-record it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just be like, hey, what's going on? You got 5 minutes?
I mean, who doesn't have 5 minutes? I mean, come on.
Exactly. Who doesn't have 5 minutes?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. Let's see. I've got one I wanted to ask. I know you mentioned that you're part of the Planet Destiny crew over the years. How have you enjoyed, or what things have you enjoyed about being on that show? I know you said you're doing a lot of editing in the background now, but anything you wanted to say about that?
Yeah, it's been a really good growth experience, I feel, just on the skill side. When I first, I didn't know if I wanted to do it when I first started because I had just like lost my job when it was offered to me, and I was like, I don't know if I should or not. And then like just thinking of like the legacy of what Planet Destiny meant to me when I first started out, I decided to go for it. And in that time, I've learned so many things about editing, about content creation. I've met so many different impeccable creators, not only through the team, like we have some really awesome folks right now, but like through the guests that we've been able to get on the podcast. And I don't know, it's always an adventure. There's always a learning curve to it. But yeah, it's been really interesting. Also, I've learned that people don't enjoy my laugh, which is a funny thing. Thank you, YouTube.
I think it's speaking of YouTube, I want to ask this. I know you have one to ask. You want to ask too, Hazel. I'm not going to leave you out, man. What do you think about all this YouTube craziness? I mean, I have a YouTube channel. I'm uploading just gameplay videos, and I'm worried. Yeah. What's going on?
I'm not entirely sure because I don't post things mainly to YouTube.
Okay.
So I'm not entirely sure what the craziness is. What
Well,
I know it has something to do with like monetizing and like not being able to monetize towards kids.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been watching several vids on it, and a lot of these guys who do Lego builds and do a lot of toy stuff that's not really made for kids, but they're going to have to market as made for kids because it's a toy. And that's part of the description that YouTube put out, that if it has something to do with a kid toy or something. And video games, animation, they're talking about animation and kid actors and stuff. I worry about Clintus because he uses his son in blogs and stuff.
Yeah.
I would
do, I don't really have, I wouldn't really have a good opinion on this.
All right. I didn't know how much YouTubing you did.
What I would do, I would actually pay attention. There's a YouTube channel that I've found. You know Corridor Digital?
No, I don't. I'm writing it down.
Corridor Digital is like it's a visual effects house out in LA. They make YouTube videos. They make fun of YouTube videos. You've probably seen them. The one with the Boston Dynamics robot that everybody like, where they're punching the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And and it like fights back a little. Have you seen that one?
I think I've seen that one. I watch a lot of YouTube, man.
Yeah, they made that video, and people like got up in arms. They were like, "That's just mean to do to that robot." And it's like, it's not real. It was all like.
I remember it.
Fake.
I remember it now. Yeah, I remember it vividly.
Yeah, and so they made that kind of video, and so I've been trying to learn from them.
Yeah.
A little bit, because they're really insightful. They have 2 channels. They have Corridor Digital, which is where all their like content that they make gets posted when it comes to like finished product, and then they have one called Corridor Crew, where they have it's basically like a reality TV series about them in house, and it's really interesting to watch.
Okay.
I usually find myself watching that in the background a lot when I have nothing to do, and they did a video back when all the YouTube videos were being demonetized. And Ethan at H3H3 was like, well, why can this video talking about the shooting be demonetized, but this video where Jimmy Kimmel talks about the mass shooting not be demonetized or not have like ad revenue pulled from it? And they had really thoughtful things to say because they've been doing it for like 10 years. I think if you watch them, they're pretty level-headed guys, make really good content, and you'd learn something from their opinion more so than mine.
Okay, fair enough. I just wanted to ask that. It just seems to be what everybody's talking about right now. It's just craziness. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I saw Blessius and Cool Guy talking about it on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
And so like I kind of knew what it was about, but I'm not 100%.
Some of these videos are scary. Some of them are really like, this will be my last video. That kind of scary.
So with this, and I think this also comes into like platform migration. With this, I think you're going to have people that overreact and maybe make a dumb move too soon. Sure.
that happens in everything. Yeah.
Yep. And those people are going to make the video that you're going to see right as the controversy happens,
right? And
then they'll be back in like a month.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't as bad. Okay, I'm back.
Yeah. And what that does, it completely like scattershots your audience.
Yeah, I mean, your audience doesn't know what to expect. I mean, I'm hoping I see
exactly.
I'm hoping to God I see MTash after January 1st. You know, I'm really worried.
I think you will. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah. I hope so. Shout out to MTash. I like his stuff. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, he seems like a good dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he posted again in Twitter, and he's like, yeah, he's like, I deleted my last tweet because people were thinking that I'm leaving YouTube. He's like, I'm not leaving YouTube. Come on now.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and that's like the stuff that you have to deal with when you talk about things like this, right?
Yeah.
Like, there have been instances where I've considered moving to Mixer, but I know enough of my audience doesn't want to move over there. I know just based on numbers what the point is where I would need to have people watch me in order to like be partnered or be monetized, really. And I've already made a really good house for myself on Twitch, right? Regardless of how you feel about the platform, I'm still putting my bets there because I'm in a community.
It's where your crowd is.
That's where my crowd is. That's where the people that I call friends are. My community is there.
Right.
The community that I'm in started there, and for the most part still remains there. And I think it would be dumb for me to move at this point.
Yeah.
To another platform.
Totally understandable.
So yeah, Dan, what are your thoughts on Shadowkeep so far?
I like Shadowkeep a lot. I think I haven't spent a lot of time on the moon because I've been doing doing Undying.
That makes 3 of us.
Yeah. I've been doing the Undying title grind.
Right.
And
oh, okay.
Yeah.
That I have different opinions on. But I really like so far what I've played of Shadowkeep. I feel like it's a good addition to the game. Some of the new changes, I really like the Armor 2.0 system.
Yeah, I do too.
I didn't like the finishers until I realized, they can play a unique and dynamic role in how you play. But overall, I really like Shadowkeep. I think the storytelling that they're doing there is really dynamic and thoughtful of the audience, that like both old and new. I think moving forward, that's where you're going to see more of the story progression per season rather than in the seasonal offerings. But yeah, I'm liking it a lot so far. What are you guys' thoughts?
Well, I'm a beta Destiny 1 player, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm very much old school, and it feels different, Dan. I can't explain it. I can't put my finger on it, but something is different this season. It just feels, I don't know. I definitely love the season bar where you unlock stuff. It's nice to know what you're, that gives you some purpose every day to get on and work
where are you at on the season bar?
I'm at 170.
There's no shame here.
178.
178. Okay.
Yep. I have a friend who is almost 300.
That's
I don't know what he does with his time, but he's almost 300 and he's 989.
You can't see my face right now, but I just shit my pants.
That's crazy, isn't it? He's a buddy I bowl with. I just came from bowling tonight. I just talked to him. He goes, "Yeah, let me see. Let me look at my profile. I'm at 989 and I'm at 292." I'm like, oh,
that's a lot of Destiny.
That is. I'm like, dude, where are you getting this time? That's what I kept asking him. Yeah. But I like that. I love the drip content. It's definitely going to throw some of our older members off because they're used to just everything dumping in a season and just completing it. I haven't done the raid yet, but I'm so looking forward to it. I think these are the most interesting raid weapons I've seen in a long time.
Okay, don't get hyped on the raid weapons. Okay. Just don't.
Okay.
Just don't. The mechanic, I think the raid itself is one of the best raids that Bungie has put together.
Wow.
Mechanics wise, it's really fun.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for the price of the ticket.
Oh yeah.
For $35, you get a lot of bang for it.
Sure do.
In Shadowkeep. But yeah, I got you. I understand that. What about you, Hazel? How you feeling?
I don't know what happened. I'm up to 60 on the bar. And been playing it pretty casually, pretty regularly and stuff like this. And then I don't know what happened. I just kind of fell off the wagon and I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to play something else.
Yeah. Completely fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but what he didn't tell you, Dan, is how much comp he's been playing this season.
Well, here's the thing. I've played more comp this season than I have any other.
Me too.
And I enjoyed it. Yes. Because I was able to jump into the solo queue and got to Fabled pretty quickly, and got my Randys. Probably not going to do that again next season, but you know what? God damn it, I did it this season.
Yeah, I've got to still get those ritual weapons knocked out. I got 2.5 weeks left. I got.
Dear God, man, what are you doing with doing a podcast? You should be crying.
I know. Oh, there it is on cue. The dog.
There you go.
There it is. We have to trademark that, Hazel.
Yeah. Way to go, Beagle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened. I just kind of fell off and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to play something else because, I mean, I don't know what happened, but I was just, I mean, I think mainly because Gatr, I'll claim that I'm a beta player.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've been playing this game for a long time and I'm like, I'm just going to play something else.
Yeah.
And yeah, so now I started The Witcher.
Okay. Oh, Witcher 3?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, buddy.
Bye, Felicia.
Well, what was funny was I tried it before and I played. This is kind of getting to the other part, but I was playing before, and in the beginning of the game, there's some walking around, this kind of thing. You're talking to some people, and then you're kind of sparring.
Yeah.
And I never made it past the sparring part.
Oh, buddy.
So there's
that's less than an hour in.
That's not even 30 minutes in.
That's Destiny-itis.
Yeah. And then I went back and I played Destiny. Well, this time I actually saw what happens right after you spar, and I was like, "Holy shit! If I would have seen this, I never would have probably went back." So.
Oh, you'll be back. It's just a different. It's the same crack. It's just a different flavor.
Yeah. So there was that, and then I ended up also buying Jedi Fallen Order. So
I hear that's really good.
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I'm just biding my time right now.
Yeah. It's sexy. It really
season's almost over. I gotta do a few things for the season. I would say there's 3 things that I love about Shadowkeep so far. I love the season bar. I love have intentionality. I know what I'm going to get for my time.
Right.
I love that anything you do in Destiny levels that bar up. And that goes for your artifact as well. I like that because I'm the kind of guy that'll grab all the bounties for the planets and I'll just run around the planets and get materials while I do bounties. That's why my level's so high, is because I do gunsmith bounties every day because I want those damn enhancement cores. Right. And I get the materials, so I'm always have material exchange to keep adding more stuff from Spider if I need legendary shards or whatever. And thirdly, I'd have to say, let's see, the season bar, the fact that you can level up from anything you do on Destiny would be number 2. Yeah. And what was my number 3? Yes, thank you. The solo comp. The solo comp queue. Because I've been a real proponent. I was one of those Destiny players that was crying for a competitive scene. Like in like Halo, where they had ranking systems. I never played Halo, but I heard so many neat things about playing in ranked servers. I really wanted that in the Crucible, and I'm a big Crucible guy. I love to play Crucible. But the problem is you would go in season before this, you go up against a 3-stack or even a 4-stack, because it was 4v4 back then, and you would just get slaughtered. And you would really have a good shot at getting the game turned around, but you'd have potatoes in there that just were there to just tag in their time, or I don't know what they were doing there, some of them. But this year, I go into solo comp and everyone's working together. We're all trying to do the same things, and the game is trying to get you to a certain level. I love that. And if I lose a game, just by a little, or say I lose a game and I'm in first place on my team, my bar goes down so little. It just gives me, it's not so depressing that you put in time and you're going all the way back. I know you can do that if you get to 5,500, you can go all the way back down to Fabled again. I understand that, but let me get to Fabled. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Without having to sweat it. I mean, because the beginning was always such a sweat fest. But you guys agree?
Yeah. I think that the changes they made to comp are considerable and very forgiving. Where I have issue with this seasonal model isn't with the seasonal bar or the artifact. I think those are really good additions. So the Season of the Undying title, which I have been going for, is a lot of grind. It's a ton of grind, and kudos to anybody who gets it. I'll be getting it this week.
Nice, but
I don't know if it's worth it, and
I gave up on it.
That's the only thing that I can think of. I like Vex Offensive. Love the activity. When people were up in arms about the Undying Mind not having like a different thing, like, oh, it should have been a strike or something else. Right. Like, to them, I asked, what did you expect for $10 worth of content?
Yes, exactly.
But I also think that some of I feel like they always overcorrect. Bungie always overcorrects to see what people are willing to do. And then once the population numbers tell them what's going on, they'll pull it back. Regardless of like how loud a YouTube video is on your player in Chrome, they're going to listen to numbers more so than individual voices. And I think that that's fair and just. I just think this season, for me, on the grind side, is a swing and a miss. I hope they do better. I hope they lessen some of the requirements for whatever the next season's title is, but I won't be participating in that grind probably.
I realized I wasn't going to have the time to do it. I started putting the math together, and I will say this, and this is all, I'm going to leave it at this. Okay. I came from the Call of Duty community where nobody ever listened to what you did. No, when someone would complain about a gun back in the 90s and 2000s when Call of Duty was the biggest thing, you never heard anything from the studios. I just love that Bungie is connecting with the community, and maybe that's the way they have to do it now. Maybe
anymore you have to be responsive to your audience.
See, in the past, it was like, enjoy the game. We'll see you when the DLC comes out.
Right. Yeah.
That's how Call of Duty was, It was like, here you go, have fun. And you got, a bunch of people teleporting and cheating and stuff. You would never hear about anybody do anything about it. So good on Bungie for that part, that they do listen to their community. And maybe that's, like I said, maybe these times now, that's what the developers have to do, because everyone else is doing it. It's competition. So I'm sorry. You get me off on a rant.
No, it's fine.
That's
what podcasts are, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that, Destiny for a while, or Bungie anyway, they've had that kind of stigma about them where they didn't really touch shit for months on it.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
I think this is them sort of correcting that as well. And I mean, I'm still hoping that they drop a new podcast just to say,
Yeah.
hey, hey, we're doing shit. This is
that was such a good resource. That was
Yeah.
such an excellent piece of communication by their team.
Mm.
So occasionally my Pocket Casts will do something dumb, and it keeps re-downloading the last Bungie podcast.
mine too.
And I think there's a new episode, and I'm like, oh my god! And then that's quickly like from 2017.
I know.
Okay.
I hate that.
Yeah. So no, that was such a good way for them to talk to their community.
Yeah.
And we are seeing arguably more communication from them than ever before, especially when it came to before Shadowkeep dropped. We got the
Right.
director's cuts
Yep.
to kind of set expectations. I hear a lot of people complain about things, and I hear a lot of people review aspects of the game in ways that sometimes are fair and sometimes unfair. And I think what maybe unbeknownst to them, but knownst to me, is a bar and a metric to see how successful they are being in the creation of their game with that director's cut. Because they're telling you what they need to work on, what they have worked on,
Mm-hmm.
what they want to deliver, and how they're going to deliver it. And now you have basically a blueprint to say, okay, so I saw what you did. This is what I enjoyed about it. This is what I think you could work on in order to hit that target that you mentioned before. Like it gives you a better way to critique the piece of art that you're interacting with. And I think that will make the community better at giving them feedback rather than yelling at them all the time on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because like that's just a small section. There's a small section on Reddit, when in reality a majority of the people that play the game probably aren't on social media talking about the game.
No.
True.
Yeah. Makes sense. Hey, that's great conversation, guys. I don't want to drag you on too late in the night here, Dan. I know we have a few more segments to do, and I don't want it to be a 3-hour podcast. Hey,
It's all good. See, this I can deal with.
Yeah.
Where it's conversation,
Yeah.
I love it. When it's just like
No form or function.
yeah, well, I mean, they're too where it's too rigid.
Yeah.
Like is where it gets
Yeah.
daunting.
I get
But,
that too.
Yeah.
But I hope that you're on our show again next year.
Absolutely.
I would love to continue this conversation and see what you think about the following seasons after this initial one. So
yeah, I'm hoping better because dear God.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you being so candid with us. I
Yeah,
know we got a little personal there, but we want to know more about you, so we appreciate you spending the time with us.
Fine with it.
Let's move on to our next segment right after this.
Call the Praxic Order, call the Thanatonauts, the Jinsen Scribes, call everyone so they can witness you.
All right, boys and girls, I'm so excited about this. It's really ironic that we're doing this segment because I got this idea partly from Mr. Danfinity's Sidequest Sunday show, so I cannot believe this is happening, but here we go. This is a segment called The Speed Run. We have a database of 66 randomly asked questions, and Dan will have 60 seconds to answer as many as he can. These are short 1 or 2 word answers, and we're going to keep track of how many questions were answered by our featured guest each episode. The questions are randomly asked, so no one can memorize the order, or you'll have to just answer quickly and whatever comes to mind. At the end of the year,
Well played.
Yes, at the end of the year, the guest with the most questions answered will win a nice prize. Tonight, I'm going to ask the questions as usual, randomly from a list, and Hazel is going to be the timekeeper and the quality control expert. In the event of a questionable answer, Hazel's decision will be final. JC Jesse, as of today, November 25th, 2019, is the leader at 19. 19. That's the number to beat. So,
All right.
So you ready, Dan?
All right, let's go.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. What's your first gaming console?
Atari.
DC or Marvel?
Marvel.
Void, Solar, or Arc?
Solar.
Pineapple on pizza?
Pineapple.
Baseball or football?
Football.
Is racing a sport?
Yes.
Water balloon fight or food fight?
Water balloon fight.
Would you live on the beach or a cabin in the woods?
Beach.
Would you rather fast text or fast read?
Read.
Human, awoken, or exo?
Exo.
Apple or Android?
Android.
Fusion rifle, shotgun, or sidearm?
Sidearm.
What's the latest you've been up gaming?
12.
Blue, green, or brown eyes?
Blue.
What is your favorite movie?
Dolomite.
Drifter, is he evil? Yes or no?
Yes.
Who is your favorite actor?
Kevin Spacey.
Favorite super... favorite,
Can we take that one back?
favorite superhero?
Same shit off the top of my head.
I have to keep going.
Green Arrow.
Okay.
All right, you get one more.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
All right.
Holy shit.
Woo.
Dolomite and Kevin Spacey. I just said the first names that came to mind.
I'm sorry, we got to keep it in.
Time.
It's got to be. It's got to be
Shit.
accurate.
I fucking lost it at that.
That's why I love.
Sorry.
That's why I love why you do this on your show, Dan.
I condemn Kevin Spacey, but his name is so readily available on my lips to say for this competition.
And I'll tell
I want
you,
to beat JC Jesse.
JC Jesse, just for the record, last week said he had to justify one of his answers. He says Brad Pitt's not my favorite actor. I just had to get that. That just happened to be on my computer. I want to get that straight.
Whatever.
Brad Pitt is not my favorite actor. I'm like, I think that was a Freudian slip. Like, okay. So-
I had I had my eyes closed and everything. I was just like,
oh wow,
JC Jesse. I
wow.
want to beat JC Jesse.
Well,
I want this.
Hazel, what do we got?
20.
Oh wow, JC is gonna be furious.
How do you think I feel? I'm gonna win with Kevin Spacey on
Oh,
my
that's
card.
okay. It's an answer. It's an answer. No big deal. Oh wow, 20. I don't know, man. I think we got 4 guests left at the end of the year. I don't know if that's going to be beat. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Could be. It could be.
It could very well be. We'll have to just see. I don't know. Well, hey, great job, Dan. Wow. You came
Man,
to
I think I should lose just because I said Kevin Spacey.
No, you got 20, dude. That's the way it is. Good job, man.
Costs.
Oh, so you're gonna have the win with the asterisk at the end of the year.
Oh my god. It's the Bash Brothers all over again.
Oh my god, this is awesome. All right, well, thanks for playing, man. Thanks for being a good sport about it. Hey everyone, just a program note here. I double checked, and Danfinity got 19 correct. I got to give Hazel a little credit. He was a little under the weather, and just wanted to get clear. That is now a tie between JC Jesse and Danfinity for 19 answered correctly. So I just want to make sure quality control was done here. I double checked, and it is in fact 19 is the final. So good luck, guys. If it does go to a tie, there will be a drawing at the end of the year. In the last episode, we will announce the winners. Just wanted to clarify that. Thank you. Okay, now that we've interviewed Mr. Danfinity, I'm curious to see what he's been watching this week. So, what have you been watching this week, Dan?
A lot of Corridor Crew videos.
You mentioned
they
that.
Fit my time. They fit my time.
I got you.
They're about like 7 to 11 minutes. Mwah, that's the twilight hour.
Perfect.
I sat down Jenny and I watched Django Unchained this past weekend.
Very nice.
I keep forgetting how good that movie is and how long that movie is. It's like damn near 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
But it's a thrilling 3 hours. I don't think that there's a lot of fat that you could trim off that movie. It's really good.
You know what's funny?
and
I'm a big Tarantino fan, and I have yet to see that
Mhm.
movie.
Oh,
You should.
It's the only one I haven't
think
seen
it
yet.
is- I think it's one of his best.
Okay.
It is enough that it could fit into possibly 2 movies,
Okay.
but I think he learned from Kill Bill not
Yeah.
to do that,
Yeah.
and he trimmed the fat enough to like. He makes a really good spaghetti western in that one,
Yeah.
and it's like, it's informed by blaxploitation films
Mhm.
quite a bit, and not only like its use, it gets really really bloody like spaghetti westerns, but it's also like kind of got that funny. It's got a funny edge to it, like a lot of the blaxploitation films. There's one scene, and it is remarkable, where he shoots a lady he's standing at the top of the stairs, right?
Mhm.
All these people have just come into this house. Django shoots a lady from the top of the stairs, and instead of her going straight down, they rigged her to be pulled through the door from the side. So it's just this really dumb
That's
visual gag.
that's what he does though. He throws you off kilter every time you watch his movies.
Yeah. And it there are several moments like that are just, I don't know how many times one guy gets shot in the butt, but the amount of blood that comes out of that butt is
Would you say
remarkable.
Would you say this is comparable to Blazing Saddles? Did you ever watch that movie?
I would say so,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay, so it's
like
It's different though.
okay.
it is but it has like such a high comedy like
Wow.
level to it.
With all the gore he
But-
has in his movies, it's amazing how
But-
he can incorporate
But
that.
you're also dealing with like some of the most serious subject matter
Wow.
that hits
Mhm.
hits at the core of American history.
All right, well, I got to see
And-
it now.
I really like it. I think it's one of his best movies. And Jenny and I were watching Rhythm and Flow there for a while, which is like American Idol but for hip hop.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a really fun show for me as a musician to watch, because like at the end of American Idol, they get a record contract.
Right.
And sometimes that's most times when's the last time you could name like an American Idol?
Kelly Clarkson. That's
hopeful-
it.
Yeah, that actually made a career out of what she was doing.
Yeah.
Or out what they were doing, and she survived the record contract thing, which is a barrel that they bend you over.
Yeah.
And it's more than likely would sour you on the experience of being an artist than like involve you and inspire you. And I feel like Rhythm and Flow does that in a way that is second to none. Each week it's not about covering songs, it's about like honing your craft, using the stuff you would in a studio in order to make a good song that people will dance to or like identify with. And at the end, instead of getting a record contract, you get $250,000 unattached.
Wow, that's better.
You don't even have to put out an album. You just, here's the money. Do with it what you want.
Yeah, give them
Hopefully you put it back into your craft.
give them the freedom to do what they want with it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
These like Sony. Okay, Voice is my crack, and
Yeah.
The Voice, and I've watched it ever since it started. And I love it's the combination of the characters. The judges are real characters, and
Yeah.
then you have serious singers, man. I mean, people who could go pro anytime. But they give you they give some kind of Sony record deal, and it's just so vague what they're talking about. What's that include? I don't even think the contestants even know what it is exactly.
It
But,
includes debt.
Yes, I'm sure. I have a buddy who's in the music business, and he's 50 something, and we had lunch. We had lunch one day, and he was talking about how cutthroat the music industry really is now. So, but
It's a barrel.
I'm sorry, I interrupted
Yeah.
you. And is
No,
there
it's
anything
fine.
else? Anything else you've been watching this week?
Not really. I think those were the big three. I watch a lot of those corridor digital videos.
I'm gonna have to watch
whenever,
those.
Like,
Yeah.
I watch a lot of them. I've started listening. They have a podcast now as well, and I
Oh,
listened to like 2 episodes of that so far today. So
very cool.
Hmm.
Very cool. What about you, Hazel?
I finished Jack Ryan season 2.
Okay, what do you think? It's late enough. I don't think spoilers are going to be an issue now.
Well, I'm gonna avoid spoilers because I messaged Maddie about it. We had our
Okay,
Tom Clancy
Yes.
podcast.
fair enough.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I was pleasantly surprised and disappointed all at the same time. But there is going to be a season 3, so I'll be checking that out regardless.
Yeah,
And then, yeah. So, but I would recommend it to anybody who watched season 1. Season 2 is definitely better than season 1.
yeah.
okay.
Seems to
But
flow.
it didn't-
It flows better, right?
Yeah, it didn't have in it at all, so that was sort of a downside for me. And my
Understandable.
wife listens to this, but
Nice.
you can edit that out, Gatr. Maybe not.
I'll think about it.
Okay, that works. And then, so yeah, I was sick I think last Thursday, possibly. And that's when I knocked that out. And then I was still sick. I didn't want to play Destiny at all. So I actually started Haunting on Hill House on Netflix.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm about 5 episodes into it, or actually, I just started the 6th one tonight, and it is very interesting to say the least. It took me like 4 episodes to understand what the hell was going on,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's basically to fill everybody in, and just it's not a spoiler or anything, but each episode deals with a different member of the family.
Mm-hmm.
What's the premise here? I'm trying to think what this is. It a horror movie? A horror series?
Well, that's
Yes.
what they play with. That's what they play with, basically. So it's,
Okay.
I mean, the show's been out for over a year now, and they're doing
Yeah.
season 2 coming out next year. And it's basically like this family, and the mother dies, possibly, in this house somehow.
Okay.
And possibly the house is haunted. Maybe not. But just a bunch of creepiness and creepy things are happening to this family in this house. So the mother is dead, and then it's up to the surviving family members to carry on and things like this. Well, slowly but surely, they all have to end up going back to the house.
Oh my God. Those kind of movies mess with my head.
Yeah, but it's not nearly as scary as it appears in the trailer.
Okay.
Each episode only has like 1 or 2 like really truly like scary bits.
Okay.
And
Feels like a family drama more.
Really?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'll check that out.
Have you watched it, Dan?
I've watched. I probably watched the first 4 episodes of it, and I liked it. I just never caught back up with it. I don't know why I fell off of it, but
yeah.
Well,
episode 5 is actually where it all turns for me.
Oh, okay.
Where it was like, oh shit, okay. So yeah, now I'm anxious to watch episode 6 to see what things I can connect to the other episodes, kind of thing.
yeah.
So, yep, that, and then the wife and I, we watched The Art of Racing in the Rain.
oh, that's a great movie.
Yeah, yep, it was very well done. They changed some things from the book, thankfully. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed what they did with it.
Yeah, I saw that when it first came out at the theater, and the ending was just fantastic. I won't spoil anything in case anybody wants to see it still, but anything else? Anything else for you, Hazel?
Last but not least, I finished Absolute Carnage. Well, I didn't. Oh yeah, I did finish it. Which was a graphic novel-ish kind of thing. About Venom fighting Carnage with Spider-Man kind of in the background. And
Yeah.
that was...
How was it?
It was fun. I dug most of it anyway. It got a little kind of... You knew what was going to happen, basically, at the end. But, you know, it was pretty well done. Didn't see where it comes from here. That was fun. And then I finished an audiobook called The Leadership Gap for work. So it's about basically different types of leaders that there are, and, you know, where are you, and, you know, where do you want to be, and that kind of thing. Recognizing your weaknesses so you can turn those into strengths, and recognizing weaknesses in other people too.
Yeah, I love that you read those. I love that you post those here, because I'm all about that stuff. Business books and stuff. It's great stuff. Being self-employed, you're always looking to improve. Yeah. Well, okay, it's time for the old man talks about 2 movies. Time of the show here. This week I watched 2 more movies I want to give my 2 cents on. The first was starring Ian McKellen. You might have known him from a little known show called The Hobbit.
Yep.
He played an old con man, and Helen Mirren played the supposed innocent, I guess you could say, widower. Had a lot of money. In let's see, Rotten Tomatoes gave it 63% from critics, 86% from audience. And you know, I was driving to the movie that night, and I said, honey, I don't even know if I want to see this movie. I was in a funk, I guess. I said, you know what's going to happen here. He's going to take her money, and then, you know, it's just, he's going to con her out of her money, and she's going to be, oh, and, you know, that kind of stuff. But wow, I was totally wrong. And my wife had to dig that in when we left the theater. It is a great story, and it does move a little slowly through, but it develops in the end is really, really good. So not to spoil anything, but it's not anything like it's something like it, but it's not totally what you think it's going to be like one of these poorly written movies that, you know, A plus B equals C. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I give it about a B minus, I guess. I watch a lot of movies, so it wasn't really my total genre that I like to see, but it kept me interested, it kept me entertained. So, but I have to talk about this next movie.
What was the name of that one again?
It's called The Good Liar. And you probably didn't know because I probably didn't mention it. I've been bowling, so I'm exhausted. But I wanted drunk. Well, I might be buzzing. Yeah, I could be buzzing. I have to talk about this next movie because this is going to be one of my. I talked about a couple weeks ago, Doctor Sleep. You know, the sequel to The Shining. That was one of my best movies of the year. This is my number 2, and it's called No. I stayed clear away from the kiddies on that one. Yeah. It'd be a little odd for a 50-year-old guy to be watching the Frozen, unless you had a kid or a grandkid with him. But
or a trench coat.
Go early in the day.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it, Dan. I'm not gonna do it. You can't talk me into it. And if I have to hear that song again, I'm gonna hurt somebody. Okay.
Can you hear me?
No, please, please don't put it in my head. This movie. You got to see this, especially this time of year, and it's called It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, starring Tom Hanks. And wow, this movie, I'm not a super emotional guy, but I could not stop the tears from flowing on this movie. And my wife, I'm sniffling and like a dribbling idiot in the theater, and my wife keeps looking at me because she doesn't get stirred up very easily by that stuff. But it's not all about Mr. Rogers. That's the biggest thing I wanted to portray here. If you think it's just I saw about 6 months ago, I saw a documentary about Mr. Rogers, and it was very tearful too. It was a very touching story, but this is more of an introspective movie. It makes you kind of really think what's important in life. And Dan, you talked about how you're going to be soul searching. I'm telling you, this might be a movie you won't want to see. Maybe bring Jenny to it because it was. You walk out of a theater with just a totally different mindset. And movies like this, you don't forget. 6 months from now, you'll remember that movie you watched. So this got 96% certified fresh from Rotten Tomatoes from the critics, and the audience gave it 93%. Do not miss this one, especially this time of year where it seems like it's more kind of pertinent than ever. You know what I mean? So get the sitter, hire the sitter if you got kids. You won't regret it. I also started watching Ray Donovan on Prime Video. Season 1 is free until I think December 12th. And I said, I really don't have Showtime. I never really knew about this show, but wow, what a show! It blows my hair back. It's such a great ride, and it reminds me of kind of Goodfellas. You just never know what's going to happen around the corner, and it's a little violent. It gets a little violent, so it's definitely a more mature TV show to watch. Don't have the kiddos sitting with you.
Yeah.
But I was curious about this one, and I really, if you don't have a Showtime subscription, you might want to. If you do have Prime Video, you might want to check this out. The first entire season's free. It's included. If you want to get the other seasons, I think there's up to 6 seasons of it now. I think they're just about to release a new season here pretty soon. You're probably going to have to subscribe to Showtime to see it because I don't see them bringing it to Prime Video anytime soon anyway. But yeah, I mean, I might actually subscribe temporarily just to watch it. And then, of course, The Mandalorian, Episode 3. No surprise.
Oh, yeah.
This, I've already seen it twice. And not too spoiler here, but let's just say I'm not surprised what happens, because episode 2 builds up into this episode 3, and I really kind of knew it was going this direction. So I'll leave it at that because I don't want people. I know this is a very new series. I don't want people to get spoiled on it here. So
yeah. All
right, well, let's switch gears now and let's talk about what we've been working on this week, whether it's in Destiny or other video games. Just real quickly. What do you think? What have you been working on, Dan? I know you said you're working on an Undying title.
Man, I'm just working on the Undying title, and like right now, I have 2 more pieces that I need. I need 2 more things.
Okay.
I need to finish out the score for the Vanguard quest. I need to finish out the Nightfall score for the Vanguard quest. I'm at 85%.
Oh wow. Okay.
On that, and then I need to get a 980 Master Nightfall done.
Oh, God.
Nightfall the Ordeal done.
Those are tough.
For the ship.
Yeah.
We got... I'm going to have to out myself on this. So, on Sunday, we spent 2 hours. Myself, Bibbletron, and White Lightning. We spent 2 hours getting from the beginning of this nightfall this week.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Hive one. It's the new one from the moon.
Right.
The Scarlet Keep.
The Scarlet Keep. We went from the beginning of that all the way to the boss battle at Hesh Ladun, and we had jumped to orbit to grab like gear anyway while White Lightning stayed there, and I forgot he gave me back the reins for the party, and I was like, I'll be right back, and they're like, wait, hold on, are you? And by
you left.
The time we were all in space,
oh no,
I realized what the problem was.
Oh no.
And just was like, I can't do anything else. Bibble wanted to do like a 980 Nightmare Hunt, so I was like, okay, fine. So we got in. Nobody was working well together, and I want to do something fun. If we could do something fun, that would be great. I'm really not on. I'm not into this at the moment. And yeah, it was what it was.
I hear you, man.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
We should have we should have that question. What's the one thing you regret doing in Destiny?
Oh, you'd have a lot of answers for that.
Oh, nice. Is that it for you, Dan? Is that it? You're working on
that was it for me.
That Undying title.
I'm working on.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm going to be playing Iron Banner this week because I want to just get that title, and then I want to hop into Borderlands. I have an Amara that is sitting at like 20 that I haven't finished yet, and would rather just spend that time hopping in there.
I got a question for you. I know Randy Pitchford. Okay. Randy Pitchford likes to send those shift codes out. Do you grab those and open up chests?
Honestly, not real. No, I don't. Yeah. I don't grab them anymore. I did for a while, and then I was like, he's just gonna keep giving these out.
Yeah.
Well,
like an idiot.
Wait until I'm down.
Well, like an idiot, I thought that they were never expired. I was like, I'll just store them up. I'll pin this in Twitter, and I'll copy it and paste it in my phone, and I'll just get to it, and I'll put a bunch of these codes in, and I think they expire. Nope. So
yeah, they do. They usually like the next morning.
Oh wow!
Usually you have 12 hours to put them in.
Oh my god!
So it's like he's just gonna keep doing this.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna wait, and I'll pick them up as I see them eventually. Right now, I don't need them all because I need to get all my characters up to 50. I still haven't experienced Mayhem and any of the tiers yet. So just gonna wait. Just gonna biding my time.
I hear you. What about you, Mr. Witcher 3?
Well, actually, it's Fallen Order. Just for now, I'm just gonna try it out and see. I did the first mission, and I was like, wow, this is really fun. It's a little unforgiving at times. They've incorporated something into it that kind of surprised me. They incorporated a little bit of Dark Souls into it. So
that's what I keep hearing. You're talking about Fallen Order, right? Jedi Fallen Order?
Yep.
I keep hearing that. I keep hearing that they're putting Dark Souls type mechanics in the game.
Yep, exactly.
I'm gonna get it. I'm definitely gonna get it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you kind of got to pick and choose your battles, and parrying is a way of life.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So yeah, I did that. Trying my hand at Witcher 3. I'm going back and forth right now. It'll be fun to see who wins.
Did you read any of those short stories that Admiral Nips told you about?
I picked up the audiobooks actually. Okay. So I'm gonna be listening to those on my way to work for a little bit, and then that's kind of what I'm waiting for. Actually, is to kind of make it through those, so that way I know the background behind the Witcher stuff. So I'm not just sort of like a baby floundering around kind of thing.
And as Admiral Nip said, December 20th, that's when it comes out to Netflix.
That is right.
You'll probably be hardcore in it by then.
Probably. My wife was kind of watching me play The Witcher 3 in the beginning, and she's like, why does that woman have her ass hanging out? And I'm like, oh,
well, honey, she's a witch.
Is Natasha a gamer?
No, not in the least.
Okay.
No. But she watched me play Fallout 3, and then she was watching me play that, and she's like, I could see Henry Cavill being that guy. And then she
Yeah.
immediately started watching, and I'm just like, I don't know if I want to keep playing this now.
You feel a little uncomfortable?
Yeah, exactly. Because then I put on the trailer for her, and she's just like, I'll watch that. And I'm like,
Honey, don't you have some laundry to do?
oh shit.
Oh, I didn't say that. Ixnay that. No, I'm editing that out. Oh man.
So, yep.
Yeah, it's been a light week for me, and I only play just about Destiny. It's been pretty light. I pick up my daily stuff. I am playing on a free to play account on PC on Steam. Also, a game with my son, and he's going into surgery tomorrow for knee surgery. So he's gonna he had his first MMA fight and it did not go well. Yeah, he's big time into MMA. He loves it. He loves watching it. He loves doing it. He works out in the gym all the time. We're going to have I think our very last episode of the year, we're going to have just a short interview with my son, just because I keep talking about him. Everybody's like, well, who is this guy? So whether you like it or not, I guess we're going to hear it. So, but okay. Sounds good, guys. Let's move on to our next segment. I think we need to have some fun here. Let's shake things up. Let's get some Discord questions in here.
Sounds good.
I hope you're ready, Dan.
Yeah, I hope you're ready,
Okay.
Man. We'll be right back.
Always prepared.
Overtime. Let's do this.
Okay, we've all been kind of talking about what we've been watching this week. Kind of had some serious talk about Destiny. Let's lighten it up a little bit. Let's ask Mr. Danfinity some Discord questions. We have such an awesome Discord community. They really put in some great questions. Some real thinkers and some real questionable ones. I won't mention who, but it's a lot of fun. We enjoy doing this every time. It's our way of connecting with our community. So I'm going to ask the first one. Lana gave us a bunch of them, and they're all kind of related to the season, so we might just pull off of these every week. So I'm going to ask you this one first. When and how did you find out Santa wasn't real? Dan?
I was in first grade, and there was this shitty kid. He had a rat tail. His name was Josh. I hated Josh's for the longest time because of this kid.
Oh.
And he told me there wasn't Santa Claus. And I got upset about it, but I did my typical thing where I don't talk to anybody about my emotions. And I bottled it up until, like, I think around New Year's Eve. And I got real shitty with my parents.
That's classic.
Yeah,
That's classic.
I think that was it.
What are you, Hazel?
Because then once you're told that it's a lie, you start looking for the seams in the packaging.
Yeah. You start looking at everything.
Clear.
Yeah, everything looks different.
Yeah.
It was, I was the oldest of 3 kids in my family. And unfortunately, I was the first one to be told. And what really sucks, and my dad just brought me in the room and said, listen, we got to tell you something. Santa's not real. And I was crushed. Christmas was my favorite holiday. I just looked so forward to it. And my dad was always the kind of guy who would hide stuff outside the house. He'd go, hey, go get the paper. Go get the paper out the front door. Like, I don't want to, Dad. I don't want to. And you go out there and there'd be a brand new bike there. You'd be like, oh my God. My dad would do that all the time. And you know what? I did it to my kids too when they were growing up. Yeah. So I guess that's one thing I passed down. But yeah, it really sucked because my brother's 2 years younger than me and my sister's 5 years younger than me. And I had to keep my lip, tight and not say anything. Yeah. And I guess that was about, it was late. I think I was like 11 or 12 when I first found out. What about you, Hazel?
I want to say I was probably around like 6 or 7, maybe 8, something like that. Maybe. I just remember like coming like out of my room and like going into the living room at like 4 a.m. or something like that. And I remember seeing my dad like sitting there, like he had a beer in one hand. My mom was up with him. And they were just like putting together this bike. And I just remember my dad just like completely like just like losing his shit over this bike that he couldn't get it together.
I remember those days.
He was just like, fuck. And I'm like, I was like, okay, I shouldn't be watching this. So I just like snuck back to my room and like laid back down, went back to sleep. And I'm like, I wonder if they were Santa. And then I woke up that next day, that day. And then I went out a little bit later, like 8 o'clock. And then they were still like up trying to put the damn bike together.
Oh my God.
And my dad's like, Yeah, Santa's not real. We're putting your bike together.
Oh my God. That was really early in life, man. I had to crush you, man.
Not really.
No?
It was just one of those things I just thought was funny because I kind of got a little bit of a spoiler, I guess, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were kind of prepped for it, I guess.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
You got another one, Atlanta?
Well, then I asked the important question. I was like, hey, what happened to the cookies? And my dad's like, I ate those.
Yeah, those were really good.
Yeah, pretty much.
Why don't you ask another one from Lana?
All right. When is too soon for Christmas decorations and music?
September.
Yeah, that is too soon. But doesn't it seem like it gets sooner every year? I know that's a trite saying, but it just seems like, especially like Black Friday, Dan. It's like everything.
Yeah.
It's like there's a Black Friday now, and there's a 2 days before Black Friday deal.
Well, here's the thing. To me, that's not Christmas.
Yeah.
To me, that is like, that's just consumerism. That's just capitalism at work. They're going to get the money earlier. They're going to get it on Friday.
Right.
It's just up to you.
Right.
But to me, it's just like, when working in libraries, I've seen different things happen along these lines where it's just like, all right, you should start thinking about Christmas. It's like, I don't want to start thinking about Christmas. Not in September. Give me at least like a month and a half after September, and then I'll start thinking about Christmas. And then it'll be almost here, and it'll be over just as quickly as it appeared.
Yeah.
And oh, look, New Year's on to worrying about taxes.
Yeah. Christmas who? Saint Nick who?
Exactly. Yeah. I'd rather spend my time that way than.
I don't know about you.
Oh man.
Well, I don't know about you, but I don't really get in a Christmas mood until usually the second weekend of December.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the same for you guys, or is it earlier for you guys?
Pretty fair.
Yeah,
Pretty fair.
it's about the same for me. You know, I think I was out somewhere and they were playing Christmas music in, like, I want to say September.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at like a Meijer or something like that. And I just like looked up in the air like, what the fuck?
What?
And then,
Did you beat him with a wrench?
no.
That's where you went wrong. You got to beat him with a wrench.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind next
There
September.
you go.
Wow.
There you go. Next September, you hear Christmas music, wrench time.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll ask this one. Do you have a real or fake Christmas tree? And everything goes to you first, Dan, just so you know.
I've wanted a fake Christmas tree for the past 2 Christmases.
Uh-oh.
Since we've gotten into this house.
Mm.
Jenny is always like, but I like a real one. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's cool and all, but real ones are expensive, and you also have to keep watering them. But it smells nice in the house. It does smell nice in the house, but you're paying for that smell. And you have candles that smell exactly the same.
Do you have pets, Dan?
Just get a fake tree. No, we don't
Oh,
have pets.
okay.
Nah, that's not our choosing. That's our landlord's choosing.
I got you.
But I grew up with a fake tree. Grew up with one.
Yeah.
I understand the magic of the real tree now.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's just like, could be saving that money every year. Save up that money every year that we put into a real tree and stuff that into a big old dumb fake tree.
Well, funny you should say that, Dan, because we went last night looking for Christmas trees because we, like dummies, threw our beautiful 8-foot. Well, I mean, it was 10, 12 years old, so it had run its usefulness. We threw it in the garbage because it was getting pretty bare. And we went looking. We went to Home Depot. We went to Target. We went to Michael's. It's like a craft shop here. I don't know if you have those up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I went to Home Depot. I'm not kidding you guys. These trees start at $200, and you can spend $800 on a pre-lit Christmas tree. $800? Are you kidding me? I couldn't believe it,
though, bro.
Oh yeah, but
Pre-lit.
That's okay. I really hate putting lights on trees, but I'll do it to save $200.
Same.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
That's worth it to me.
And they all fold up now. They all fold up like an umbrella. So I love that part because there's nothing. I grew up on fake Christmas trees as well, and handing your dad the color coded coat hangers of branches. It got it just got so. Oh my God.
Memories.
Yep.
What about you, Hazel?
Well, it's funny you say that because so my mother-in-law, she actually had one of those old ass trees where you put it in, branch by branch. It's all color coded and all that.
Yeah.
So she was doing that, and then my girlfriend, fiance at the time, wife, ultimately, we went out.
Oh, so your current ex-girlfriend?
At one time, yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So we went and saw a movie, and we came out, and the box that the tree was in was sitting just on the sidewalk, and we're like, what the hell? So we go in, and she's like, yeah, I got done with the tree, and I just said, no, I'm done. I just want a new tree. So she just threw it outside, and that was it. And then she tasked us with going and getting a tree. So we were like, okay, well, hey, we're going to get a real tree. We didn't know what a real tree entailed at all. So we went and bought a real tree at Home Depot, actually. it came in this neat little tube. So we were all excited and everything. We cut it open. This is going to be too young of a reference for some of our listeners, but if you're familiar with a Charlie Brown tree, that was basically it. It was pretty much just like a tree. It kind of tilted to one angle, and it only had branches on pretty much one side.
Wait, you didn't have them cut open the tree at the time you were buying it?
I didn't know that was an option.
Okay. Man, my dad was tough. We was a time where we were getting live trees, and my dad he's Mr. I'll get you down to the bottom line price kind of guy, and he wouldn't leave until he would. The guy would just want him off the lot, And my dad, my mom was very picky. She wanted a big tree and full, and no patches, no areas where it was bare, And my dad would always make him cut it open. I'm not going to buy that sight unseen. I don't know what's in that thing. I can't believe you didn't do that.
Yeah. No, we're from the Midwest. We just buy shit and,
Okay.
We just go, oh, fuck, I got screwed on that. Oh, well.
Okay. Why don't you ask another one? We'll tag team it, Hazel, on the holiday questions here, since it's holiday time.
Yeah. Well, actually, Gatr, where I used to work, I pulled up the website here. A 9-foot slim tree, $944.99.
I'm telling you, man, it's insane.
Yeah.
$100 a foot.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Let's just be reasonable here, okay? Let's just say a $500 tree, okay? I know that's crazy. Let's just say you want the
2-foot tree on those prices.
Well, I mean, you want one pre-lit, right? And you figure, okay, we're going to use it for 10 years, right? Let's just say 10 years, because that's how long our last tree lasted. Before it starts, losing everything and starts looking nasty. Okay, $500 at 10 years. I don't know, man. If I bought a real tree every year, I would think you'd almost be paying the same. It'd be pretty close. Or maybe not 10 years. Let's just say 8 years. I don't know. I don't know if it'd be worth it. I don't know.
Damn real trees.
Damn the smell.
Yeah.
Damn fine smelling real trees.
But you know what I don't miss? I don't miss coming home every night and before going to bed getting a whisk broom out, because I have wood floors, and sweeping, or God forbid you got carpet and you got to vacuum it out. That gets old real quick,
So the first year we had a real tree, we kept it for a super long time, into January. And I kept telling Jenny, I was like, we got to get rid of this fucking tree. It's drying out. It doesn't look good anymore. It doesn't smell good. It's just a dead tree in our house. We need to get rid of this thing. And she goes, but it's so pretty. I was like, it's not pretty anymore. And so we laid out a bedspread, and it was small enough that you could that one person could carry it, or I could carry it.
Mm-hmm.
So I laid it down in the bedspread and then just wrapped it up. It looked like a body. And then, so we carried it out of the house, and there's a park just around the corner where they were accepting the dead trees still. So I just, this is almost worth the price of admission, I will say. I took the bedspread and grabbed the two corners, and I just I flung like an Olympian and let go of one of the corners, so it just kind of sailed over the other trees and then landed. It was wonderful. It was a great experience. I felt like a god. Jenny, we had the real tree Jenny always wanted.
There you go.
But that moment right there.
Nice.
peak performance.
Well, you got your money's worth. End of January. That's,
I did.
Yeah.
I got my money's worth out of it by flinging that tree.
Okay.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
If Santa was real, what would you ask for?
I would ask for a new phone for me and my 500,000 friends. And then so we'd all have our phones, and we'd all be able to then like have each other's phone numbers together, and then we'd all call Santa, like just once an hour on the hour, just all of us try to call him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like once he realized his mistake, he would cancel Christmas.
Excellent answer. Excellent answer. Well, my answer is going to sound like dog shit. I was just going to say a gaming computer. I can't top that. What about you, Hazel?
I think I'd go for a car.
I thought about that too.
Yeah.
I need a Toyota Tundra in my life. All right. I'll let's see. Okay, I'm gonna ask this one since it's this is right after Thanksgiving. What is your typical Thanksgiving meal and tradition, Dan?
Usually the entire family, my entire side of the family gets together and has like the traditional turkey dinner.
Mm-hmm.
But we do that around lunch, and then Jenny and her parents, her mom's from Germany, and her dad met her through the military. We go over there for dinner. So I get 2 Thanksgivings. I think I'm going to try to slip a third Thanksgiving in here. Some friends of mine are doing a Friendsgiving, and they're like, it's no big deal if you can't come. I was like, I'm going to go. If I'm going to eat 3 times that day, all a variation on the theme, I'm going to be there. So I think the third Thanksgiving is where I'm going to be.
Nice.
Wow, I'm jealous.
Yeah, that's, man, I'm telling you, leftovers last a long time.
Yeah, they do.
You could save a lot of grocery money.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. I answered this from the last podcast, so I won't repeat myself. Hazel, you answered too, I think, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I got one from Flip here I want to ask, and this is pertinent to this time of year. This is from Flip. Oh my God. I'm just going to say this is from Flip, because I never get it. I never get his, okay, Flip Mode Fro.
Yay.
Got it. I got it. Okay. Not sure if this has been asked yet, but have you started listening to Christmas music yet? If not, when do you start? Putting up the tree today, so Christmas music has to be on. Also, well, we already answered that, real tree or fake tree. We've already answered that one. So what about you, Dan?
Nope. I don't listen to Christmas music. I don't get in the mood for Christmas because of what's on the radio. It's usually like it's like you said, it's usually like a couple weeks beforehand, and I'm like, yeah, this is really a truly magical time. And then I forget about that feeling immediately after Christmas.
Yeah. You know, Christmas music definitely puts me in the mood. It at least reminds me that, hey, you need to start thinking about other people. It's Christmas time, you know. I do like that part of it, but as I've gotten older, and I know I'm a little bit older than most of you guys, and it's more about family now. It's so much more about family and everybody just getting together, because everyone is so busy through the year. You hardly see them. You know, I text my mom every week. I mean, God, it's so terrible. But you know,
you just love your family.
But no, I'm just saying, if I try to call her and talk with her for a while, neither of us really have time to do that. I'm in the middle of work, and she's big in the quilts and stuff, and she goes to the quilt seminar. Yeah, that's what she's into. And you know, she's got her friends and stuff that she does. And this time of year, the music definitely sets the tone for me. But I would say I don't start listening to it. I have Sirius radio in my car, so I guess it starts piping in around, I guess, the 10th or 12th of December, somewhere around that time. What about you, Hazel?
I start pretty much either the day after Thanksgiving or that first weekend. That's when the Christmas music starts over here.
Now does Natasha say, okay, Thanksgiving's over with, let's get the Christmas stuff, like my wife does?
Damn straight, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That just ruins the weekend. I dread
It's be there or be square or
not go to bed in the same bed.
Yeah, or I'm on the couch. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yep. But it's not bad though. I mean, it's it's one of those things. It's like you see this damn tree glowing, and it's like, well, all right. I guess it just put me in the spirit of something.
Yeah.
So
sure.
Nah, man, just put on some Biggie.
Oh, did he drop a Christmas album?
No, he's just saying Biggie. Oh man.
Oh, that was Tupac. He's still not dead yet.
Yeah, still not. He's still not 50 Cent either.
And don't
So
say
everybody
it
on the internet. Stop saying that that's a thing.
And we've said his name twice, so please don't say it a third time.
Okay.
South Park reference there.
Oh, I thought you meant Kevin Spacey. Oh.
No.
Oh no, he's here.
No.
I thought you were in jail.
I got one from Drafty here, and Hazel, pick one out for next one.
Oh, shit, sorry.
I know Drafty spends a lot of time in your chat.
Yeah.
Dan, he's got a question here. It says, what was the first game you could call, or you would call your favorite? Very first game.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time was probably my first favorite game because we would beat the shit out of that like almost weekly. We would crank up like my nephew and I would do it, my brother and I would do it, and we would just like roll through all those levels on SNES, and like it was such a fun time because it was like really the first game that I ever beat, right? And so that feeling of like mastery over a game,
mm-hmm.
and you could like play with your your buddies or your friends, whatever. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was really good. And so that's probably my favorite game. Followed. No, that's it.
No. I'm gonna have a two-parter. You can have a two-parter if you want. If you want something more recent.
Followed by Legend of Dragoon.
Okay.
Probably followed by Legend of Dragoon as like first favorite moment.
Yeah, those are both good
Nice.
games. How about you, Hazel?
Yeah, well, see, I'm trying to think of a second one if you guys are going to have to.
Well, okay, I'll buy you a little time here. My first game, obviously, my first love was probably Donkey Kong. I put so many quarters in that machine at the little convenience store down the road. I don't know where I got all these quarters, but I figured it out somehow. And I was like, I don't know, 12 or 13, I guess. And more newer to date would be the game that debuted on PlayStation 1, and that's Twisted Metal. That game, I bought every one of those games. I love that you could just shoot people. You could just shoot people and run them over and oh god, it was so awesome. That game really got to me. I think that was one of my first online games too. If I think back, I think so. When it started going online, I think it was PlayStation 2. When it started going online, something like that.
Yeah, I think they tried to do like a re-up on PS3, and it just didn't take.
Yeah, it wasn't the same. I think the last game I bought was Twisted Metal Black. I think that was PS3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I'm staring at it right now. It's still in my little cubby hole.
I'm sorry.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think they're actually going to make that into a movie. I saw somewhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gullible. I'll bite. What about you, Hazel? You got two?
Sure I do. Yeah. For me, my first one, I had to go with Super Mario World.
Okay.
It was just so great, like getting Yoshi for the first time, going like, what the hell? This is amazing.
Yeah.
And then you get the cape, you can fly.
You know what game is really good when Nintendo's still selling it to this day? With their their Switch, on their Switch and stuff. Those games still sell. And do they ever go on sale? Nope. Because they're iconic games.
Well, no, it's just a bunch of people have, nostalgia for it. Like me, and I would buy it if I had a Switch too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm a sheep.
Yeah. I'm a sucker
And
for
then,
gaming.
yeah, my second one, I would have to go with, I think just for the memories, I would have to go with GoldenEye.
Oh yeah, it was good too.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's just something about those damn proximity mines and hiding in the bathroom where, you didn't know where the other person was, and it was, coming out with a karate chop to the neck.
Yeah.
I'll pick an old Uncle Scumdeath one here.
Okay.
If you could be the voice of a video game character, which character would it be? I mostly listen when I'm on the show.
Of course you do.
All right. I would be in like a Fallout style RPG or just any RPG. I would be the clerk behind the counter of a store. And I'd be like pretty nice at first, but the longer you stayed in the store screen, I'd just be like, "Hey motherfucker, hurry up. Are you gonna pick something?
Oh man.
Jesus, mother, and Joseph. Why? You're not even playing the game at this point. What are you doing?"
Reevaluate.
It would get more aggressive as the longer they stayed in the store.
Oh God, that would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
I'm sitting there.
Pay to play that.
It's like me sitting in front of the drifter and he's going, "Are you gonna pick anything yet? What are you doing?"
See, but that's nice. That's nice compared to what I'd want to do.
Oh, of course. But I would think he would start getting irritated as time went on. I don't have any more to talk about.
Get the fuck out of my store.
Get the hell out of here. I've got a coin game to play here.
Yeah.
Oh, you want a slushie? Let me piss in that.
Get out of my goddamn store.
Dan, you have such a great imagination, dude.
I try, man.
What about
Nice.
what about you, Hazel? You got something?
For me, I would probably go with Gran Turismo, and I would be the car. And every time you hit the wall, I'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, learn to drive.
So we're the same character.
Yeah,
Oh,
except I'm
man.
a car, and you're driving around.
Yeah.
And, I'd just be like, "No, it's a left. You see the arrow on the screen, dipshit." There we go.
Okay, if we're going along that line,
Uh-huh.
then I would be a Call of Duty. One of the Call of Duty soldiers you're always following on the rails, and they sit there and wait and wait and wait. I would be like, "Hey, dude, hey, we gonna do something today? What the hell's going on here, man? We got people to shoot in front of us. What are you
taking a piss?
What are you doing standing there? Come on, dude, we're sitting there waiting. Can't you fucking see it? We're right here."
Yeah. So we're all the same character.
I think
So I'm the store clerk. I go and pick you up from the war in my car that is also disgruntled.
Good
and
idea.
just upset.
We go to the bar and get a drink.
And we all just get shitty with one another. It's like, "How's your day?" "Fuck you."
Very nice. Very nice.
This is the Cynicism Podcast. You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe Dan will know the answer to this one. This is from Maddie Bot, or this is from Maddie. Question for the show. How many Pop-Tart bites does it take to make a whole Pop-Tart? I have no idea.
If you are talking about the size of a Pop-Tart, I would say you're probably looking at about 16. If you are talking about the materials that make up those individual bites
Mm-hmm.
and calorically, I would say 3.
That makes perfect sense. Anything to add, Hazel?
Not at all.
I have no clue. I don't eat that stuff.
I've seen people eat those things.
I mean, no. Don't get me wrong.
I want to try them now just so I can see if it's 3 versus
Yeah.
8.
Do an experiment, honey.
Yeah.
Well, no, you're not buying Pop-Tart bites. No, I got to do this, honey. It's for the show. Got to do it.
Exactly.
It's like, you're buying that yourself then. Okay.
6 months later.
Exactly. Exactly.
Look at me. I've bought stock in all these Pop-Tart bites.
I found out Dan was right.
That was right.
How did he know?
He's weeping into his bag of Pop-Tart bites.
Well, Hazel,
All right.
one more question and I'll give you the honors.
Oh, God help us. Lana's question here. Recurring question. What's your favorite boy band? K-pop counts.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Here's the thing. I grew up in the era of boy band. The era where you had NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, and my pick, O-Town.
Really?
Now, O-Town, if you do not remember, was part of Making the Band. It was a TV show that was on ABC, and it was Perlman. I think his name.
Ron
name
Perlman.
was like,
Ron Perlman.
No, it wasn't Ron Perlman.
Oh.
This is a different guy. This is a way different guy.
Okay.
He was the guy who started Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, and he was like, I'm gonna make. He's like a slightly bigger guy, and you could tell he just like he ate money and then shat money, and he I'm gonna make the next big boy band, and so he they did the whole audition thing. They put all of them in house because that's still a big thing to do in reality television, and then that lasted for like a season. I think they put out a single, and I think it's called Liquid Dream, which is just kind of gross to think about. And it was just bad. It wasn't good. It was just bad. And that guy later, I think he's in prison now because when he formed groups like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, he signed them to deals that basically robbed them of any back end and like was fraudulent in other activities. I think he also he stole a blimp, like money from a blimp company or something like that. I don't know.
What?
But yeah, you look this guy. He's a real dirtbag.
I'm going to have to.
But that's why it's my favorite boy band. Because just how insane that guy is.
Was he behind that fire festival or whatever it was?
No. That was Ja Rule. Where the hood. That guy.
That's great.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry. I'm still picturing Ron Perlman in a boy band. Sorry.
Oh my God.
That was a creepy dude.
7. So here's the thing. Jenny and I, we have a text chain like you probably do with your spouses or significant others. Yep. And just occasionally I have this picture of Ron Perlman where he just looks kind of confused. Like it's clearly during a junket and he just doesn't like the person's question. It's just really confused, blank stare. And I send it to her occasionally when she least suspects it.
Is that a haunting meme? Is it a haunter every time you send it?
No, she's just like, oh, God damn it. It's like the circle game. It's like the circle game, but with your spouse.
I got you.
That's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
So my boy band, I had to go with Color Me Bad.
Oh, surprised by that answer.
I Want to Sex You Up. There you
go. Mine, I'm way old school. I would say I'm not really into boy bands. I was more of a rock and roll kind of guy. But I would say of all of them, I like NSYNC the best because I can't believe I'm saying this, but I really like Justin Timberlake's music.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That's all. Yeah, that's all I'm going to have to say about a boy band because it's not my thing. It's just.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, God. Hanson's a good one too. Hanson's a solid answer. They're still working.
Look at this picture of this O-Town. It's like you just sent this picture in Discord. Oh my God.
That's I sent classic. You the Wikipedia because it's fucking insane.
That's classic. I got to read that. Thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
Oh my God. Woo. Well, hey guys, thanks for answering the questions candidly tonight. If we did not get to your question this week, we invite you to still add those to our podcast questions segment on our channel on our server. And of course, you can always send them to us via Twitter as well. We'll make sure we archive them and ask them on the next show. So thank you for sending those questions in, guys. And let's move on to our final part of our show. This is where we pick songs for our Guardian Down playlist on Spotify. It's a little sprinkling of what the three of us like to listen to, and we invite you to listen to it as well. Just search for Guardian Downcast playlist on Spotify. And of course, I'll put the link in the show notes so you can access it very easily. And I'm going to go first tonight. I'm usually the last guy, but I'm going to go first, as I'm curious to see what Mr. Danfinity has to say. My first pick is going to be Man in the Wilderness from the 1977 album Grand Illusion. It Sticks. And my second pick is going to be more, I guess, I always like to pick a new song and an old song. This is from 2008 from their album Day and Age. It's The Killers, Spaceman. I don't know if I don't know if you guys rocked out to that song on Rock Band Video Game or not, but it was one of my favorites.
I think I listened to like the first 3 albums of The Killers.
Yeah.
Like I like that. I like them. They're good.
They're good group.
Okay.
They're kind of, they're more pop and mainstream, but they still sound really good. So who wants to go next?
I will.
Okay.
So I picked 2 songs that have meant something to me most recently. One of them, there's a song called No Connection by Cheek Face.
Mm-hmm.
That is a band that I discovered earlier this year from another podcast called Jonah Radio. Jonah Ray from MST3K.
Mm-hmm.
He does a show with his buddies, and they just listen to punk music and just drink and talk bullshit. And but Cheek Face was one of the bands that came on, and I like their writing is super witty, not only in like the notes that they're playing, like the way that they're composing their songs are really witty, but like the dude's lyrics are awesome. And they released an album called Therapy Island back in March of this year, February or March.
Mm-hmm. It
It didn't come out on vinyl until October, and it was like limited to 200 prints. So I was like, I need to get this. Like, it's an album I've been listening to all year. It's one that I didn't grow tired of, and they're constantly putting out new singles on Spotify. So their latest single is called No Connection. It came out like 2-3 weeks ago, and is a really solid song. And then the second one that I picked was the John Wayne from local artists Oreo Jones and DMA. Oreo Jones. So I've been in the Indianapolis music scene or familiar with it for like 7 years now. I moved down here in like 2012.
Mm-hmm.
So probably more than that, like closer to a decade than 7 years. But like, because we used to travel down here and play shows. But Oreo Jones is one of the city's like best MCs, and put him together with David Moose Adamson, aka DMA, and they created like this really awesome piece. Hold on, drawing a blank here. They called Highway Hypnosis.
Mm-hmm.
And the John Wayne is one of the songs off of that, and it talks about Oreo's early like preteen to teen years in a town that maybe didn't understand him all that well, and it's a solid listen all the way through.
Very nice. I can't wait to hear this. It's what I love about this this playlist is I like to listen to it. Like when we go to the movies, we're on the way, it's a good 20-minute drive. We'll pop on Spotify and listen to it in my truck.
Yeah.
And it's great because I can always tell who added that song. Mm-hmm. It's really cool.
Yeah, same here.
Speaking of which, Hazel, what do you got this week?
So, first one, these are actually 2 songs inspired by my wife. Not actually, like, I'm going to say the one, and, you know, everybody's going to chuckle, but still. It's Keep Your Hands to Yourself by the Georgia Satellites. So, not really because of that, but just because it was just like a catchy song that we liked when we were dating, and it was just, you know, it's a fun song to kind of sing along to and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We played it tonight for my daughter for the first time, and she was like laughing about it and started dancing and stuff. So
could definitely be an earworm, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And then another song is Falling Slowly from Once, the soundtrack. My wife and I actually danced to this. It was our first dance as a married couple.
Awesome.
So, you know, it's one of those songs that's just kind of slow and just, you know, It's just
Awesome.
good, all around good song.
Awesome theme tonight, man. That's great.
Yeah.
You always add the greatest stuff, man. I know you put a lot of work into your picks, and I know sometimes you'll be the last minute, just fretting
Very
over
much
it.
so.
That's
Very
awesome. I love that part. I love that part of it. So, hey guys, I think we got a show. I think we're done.
Is this a show?
Yes. Did we tell you? Oh crap, Hazel, you didn't tell them it's a show.
I thought we were just hanging out.
Oh man,
I thought it was weird that there was a lot of structure to the question.
Well, it's assuming Gatr recorded it all.
let me check. Let me double check. Yeah, we're still recording. We're good.
I've been that guy.
I've done. Yeah, I did the inside story is I did one. We did an episode with Xanafan 711, and it was only an hour, a little over an hour long, and
oh, he was your lost episode too?
yes.
Oh shit!
No, not lost. No. He wasn't a total lost episode. But what happened is I recorded the we were talking about the TWAB. We had a really deep conversation about Destiny. And I realized that I was recording between sessions when we were talking off air. We were actually talking on air. So when I hit the button to record, I actually turned it off. So we talked for a good 30 minutes and never got captured. So that's the reason why that show is so short. So we never. I'm really hoping Zan will be back on next year, like you as well, Dan. And
Heck yeah.
we love to talk about what's going on and all that stuff. So I'm sorry, I'm a little tongue tied. I guess it's been a late night, but I wanted to let everybody know, if you get the chance, follow at RNG Gatr on Twitter. He's a good friend of the show, and don't believe all that rivalry hype about Gatr versus Gatr. He's a big supporter of our little podcast, and just spoiler alert, he is going to be on our show in 2020, so we can't wait. So Dan, thank you for being on tonight, man. It's truly an honor.
Thanks for having me. It was a blast hanging out with you guys. I know I've seen both of you guys in my chat before.
Yep.
And you guys are genuinely good hang.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Come from you. That means a lot. It really does.
Yeah,
well,
it does.
Well, Dan, why don't you tell everybody how everybody can reach you? Maybe your podcast. When do you stream? Okay. I know.
All right.
I know. That's all right. I got time.
Hello. Hey guys, my name is Danfinity. You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Danfinity. That's 4 days a week. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, Danfinity, but the I's are L's. Podcast, Destiny Digest, Sidequest Sunday, just about any of the other, like 150, Planet Destiny, any of the other 149 that I'm also on. You can find all those on your podcast platform of choice, and that's pretty much it.
Spoken like a true pro.
Well done.
I mean, I said a lot of uhs there.
Nah, it's okay.
There's a lot of uhs.
I edit all that out. Don't worry about it.
Okay, sounds good.
Hazel, what about you, bud?
Hazelnut, Hazel NT, pretty much everywhere.
You can contact me via the Twitter at Todd the Gatr. You can also find me on YouTube, hopefully, if there's a YouTube, pretty soon. Steam and PS4 as Gatr, all caps, GATR, underscores in between. I've been uploading some gameplay vids from Destiny. Probably going to upload some vids from Iron Banner coming up this week, or that's been happening this week. So look for those. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Podbean, Stitcher, Outcast. I think there's a ton of them out there. Whatever you like. I think it's called Downcast, maybe. I saw the stats on it.
We're Downcast, dumbass.
No. There's an actual podcast app called Downcast, I think. Oh, Crowdcast? I don't know. Whatever.
It's like who's on first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Whatever you guys like to, whatever app you guys go to download podcasts, we're probably going to be there. Just search for Guardian Downcast. You can also email us at guardiandowncast@gmail.com. We're on Twitter at Guardian_D_cast for show questions or whatever you want to talk to us about. Feel free to DM me as well there if you like. We have a Discord as well, an awesome Discord, I might add. Just search for Guardian Downcast, and I will also post a permanent link in our show notes as well. Hey, thank you all so very much for listening. And later, Guardian.
Toddles.
Quit saying that. dude, you were a joy, man. I'm so glad you said yes
Yeah.
to join tonight.
Thanks, man.
This
Yeah,
is one of the shows I've been looking forward to for a while. So thank you.
Heck yeah,
It's a
absolutely.
lot of fun. So
Yeah. I was a little I had stage fright a little bit. I was like, oh shit, it's Dan.
oh, I warned
We've
him.
hung out before.
I
What?
know. I warned him. I said he might be a fanboy, Dan. So be ready.
A little bit, you know. But
Oh man.
it's just that I mean, you're such an awesome person for this
Yeah,
in our
thank
community and everything, and it's just heartwarming to be able to talk to you and be like, wow, he's just a normal guy.
You know what's
Yeah, dude.
and I look at all the people that are in this community, in this bunch of discords that everybody's running to and fro, and I think almost all of them link to your Sidequest Sunday, Dan. I mean, so many people. I mean, that's how I found out about JC
Yeah.
Jesse and Dad Tales podcast. I was
Yeah.
listening to your show because you interview people, and you were interviewing JC Jesse at the time, and I was like, well, I got to check this guy out. He's pretty entertaining. And there,
Yeah.
rest is history. So,
Heck yeah, that's awesome, man.
so
Yeah.
well,
Connecting people.
you're a good guy, man. I really appreciate you coming on tonight. And like I said, in 2020, I hope you'll be back.
Yeah, absolutely. And who do I send the invoice to?
That would be Hazelnut, Hazelnt. Oh no, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Easy gets
Send
that.
it. Yeah, that's right. Easy's our accountant. Yeah, that's
All
right.
right, sounds good. Sounds good. I'll be sure to send it to him.
I'm gonna make the next big boy band.